Hi and welcome to Aussie Kicks. On today's show, yes, I finally have hunted down a lovely conditioned M05 Mini Cooper Racing from Tamiya. That's 58438. Now, if you've been watching the show for a while, you know that I've been really trying to get hold of one of these, but they're not that easy to find. So let's open up the box and see what you get for the money and see what kind of condition this one's in. Now, if you're a Tamiya fan, you'll know that the Mini's been out quite a few times on many different M chassis. But unfortunately, recently, we haven't seen any re-releases, so these kits are getting hard to find if you're looking for a really new one or a mint one. Mainly because once these are built and driven, if you bump the front at all, you pretty much damage the body. So trying to find a really high standard one is actually difficult. You've got to kind of go for shelf queens, as the minute they're driven once or twice, you curve off the corners and it starts to look a bit tatty pretty fast. Getting hold of the bodies is the difficult aspect. Getting hold of the chassis, especially something like an M05, is pretty easy because they're producing it even now. But the body, that's what makes it, and obviously the decals as well. Now, this Mini from Tamiya is on the M05 chassis. Now, we have seen the Minis on previous M chassis, which I'll get to in a bit, but the original M05 came out as the M05 Pro on the 24th of June 2009. Now, there's been many variants of the M05 chassis, kicking off with the M05 Pro, the M05 RA, then there was the M05 S spec, then we actually got a variant 2 of the M05, which basically changed it so you could fit square batteries and a few other modifications. And that was the M05 V2 Pro, then there was the M05 V2R, and the last variant of the MO chassis was the MOL, which came out on the 30th of October 2021. So as you can see, the M05 has been a very popular chassis for Tamiya, and they put out variants right up to now. So that's why getting a chassis for this is very easy, whereas the body is the difficult part. Now, even though this was released in 2009, you could class it as a bit of a re-re. The first time we ever saw a Rover Mini with Tamiya in the 7th of December 1994. Then within a year, they brought out a very beautiful Mini, which was the 94 Monte Carlo. Now, that was absolutely stunning and was on 58163. Yes, I would love to get one of those in the collection, but as you can imagine, the original M01 chassis versions are insanely difficult to get in beautiful condition. Now, the Rover Mini didn't just jump from the M01 chassis to the M05 chassis that we have here. It actually made an appearance on the M03 chassis. Now, the Mini Cooper Racing that you see here, the only difference was they changed the red to a blue. Then we got the 94 Monte Carlo, exactly the same, but then we also got a Union Jack roof with a 32 number on the side, and that was in green. That wasn't the end of the Minis on the M03 chassis. Tamiya did bring out an M03 Long on the BMW Mini, the basic mod Mini as we know it today. But the last time that you could get a Rover Mini kit from Tamiya direct, or from their suppliers if you will, was 84183, which was the 19th of February 2011. And that was a limited edition run, well, limited sale series they call it, which basically means it was sold out before you even had a chance to get it. So that's why it's so difficult to get replacement bodies. So I think that's covered the basics of the Rover Mini with Tamiya. So let's open it up and take a look at what I got. Now, as I was looking for a basic mint shelf queen, I was looking for one that I could actually build on the show so I could show you. But they are super hard to find and super expensive. I might have mentioned that once or twice in this video. So this one was as close as I could get. Now, this is a built chassis. It also has all the bearings added to it. The body has been cut out but not painted. Also, the decals have not been cut out either. So it's as good as I'm going to get, especially for the budget that I had. Now, I didn't think I was going to get this, but I managed to get it at the last second. So the decals, brand new, never used, so that's great. Without those, again, difficult to get hold of. And I like to try and get originals when I can. Manual. Now, this was packed really well. I managed to get this one off of eBay. It came with a few bits and pieces, bit of foam. Now, these weren't in the box, but I'm hoping that I can actually use these. These may be oil shocks that are going to fit on this. I'm not sure. Obviously, they're not made for it, but I think the length could be close enough that I can make use of it. Now, a bit of polystyrene. And here we go. And that's pretty much it. So that's the shortest unboxing ever. Let's take a closer look at it. Back in the day, believe it or not, I had a red Mini just like this. Yes, and I had the roof painted white and I had the stripes on the front as well. It was my second car I ever had. Decals look simple enough. I'm umming and ahhing about whether I'll bother with the 32 on the doors or whether I'll make it look like my old Mini. I'm not sure. See how it unfolds in the next video. It's good to see a front wheel drive chassis under this car, as obviously all Minis were front wheel drive. Tamiya has now and again done some strange things and put chassis that don't represent what they actually were. The Ford Escort was a classic example, and you got a 4-wheel drive chassis when actually it was 2-wheel drive rear. There's tons of M05 parts and upgrade parts available as the chassis is still being released. The previous owner fitted bearings all round but also left a Futaba servo in it. For now I'll leave it in. This is only ever going to get driven very, very gently, so it doesn't need anything super special. I have got a sports tune motor that I may fit in it, but that may end up going in something else. I was gifted these oil shocks last week and luckily they fit this, so they're going straight on as I just can't stand the friction shocks. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Gav, you seem to have backed up quite a few projects, and yes, I seem to have got myself into this position. But don't judge me, because I know you, yes, you there at the back, have just the same kind of thing. Lots of you have all your projects backed up, but the process that's going to be coming is we've got to get back on the Brat and finish that one. Now, it's quite a detailed body, and I haven't really been up for getting into that kind of detail and putting that attention to it with what's been going on. But we will be returning to it and finishing that one off. Soon as that one's finished, we'll be jumping on the big one. Yes, the Blazing Blazer will be kicking off that build. Now, because it's such a rare build and it just doesn't exist anywhere on the internet, I'm going to do it a little bit different to what I normally do. I'm actually going to do it almost in real time. I'm going to record everything, so it's going to be a big series, because I'm not going to just jump from one section to the other. I'm pretty much going to film the whole build for you, as seeing these being built brand new from box, super rare. So we're going to savor that one a little bit. After that, well, we've got the drift car, and then we've got a few other ready to runs and some drones to put on the show, and I've got some planes coming, and then at some point we'll get back on the Mini. Now, the Mini, obviously the chassis is already built for us. It's got all the bearings in it. I might see if I can get a few upgrades for it, but mainly we're going to focus on painting up that body. I'm doing it box art, so it will be coming, so stay tuned. Hit that like and subscribe button, as we need to grow the channel as fast as possible. Thanks very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.